Dr. Angie Speaks, and where real conversations meet real expertise.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am so excited today. We have one of my sister queen friends with us today, Miss Angela Wilkes. She is a newly retired corporate woman, and she is going to tell us more about this new structure, the rewiring of her life now. Miss Angela, take it away. Tell us where you grew up.
Okay. Hello, Queen Angie.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to be here today. Hello, everyone. I am Angela Wilkes, and as Dr. Angie said, I am newly retired and ready for what I consider rewiring. So, what that means is since I'm out of the corporate structure, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to sit home, watch TV, and eat bonbons. It's actually going to give me more time to invest in my ministry, in the community, and do all those things that I had wanted to do when I was younger. But as you know, when you have a child and you're working and life be lifing on you, sometimes we have dreams that are deferred. So let me paint a picture for you guys of where it all started. So I actually was born in Philadelphia, moved to New York City to Brooklyn when I was like maybe 7 years old. And from there, we moved to Harlem, which was very different because at that time, Brooklyn was predominantly white in the Nostrand, Newkirk area. And so when I moved to Harlem, it was the first time that I got to see a diverse group of African Americans all in one place. So it was somewhat of a culture shock, but it was a good thing because I learned a lot about our history through elementary and middle school. And then we took a turn and moved to Staten Island to the projects. But the Staten Island projects are not like the projects you see on TV. Ours had a pool, handball court, basketball courts. You know, they had everything pretty much at that time. Our building had the intercom with the phone, like when you're in these fancy condos that you would pick up.
Yes.
So I got introduced to a school system that was great in Staten Island. I also learned a lot about racism and prejudice there also because, you know, being on the track team, we would have to travel all over the island. And sometimes we would get chased and have to run to our buses and trains before we got hit with whatever, you know what I mean? But it was still, I cultivated a group of friends that maybe about 4 or 5 of them I'm still friends with today. So it's 40 something years later, we are all still friends. So that's awesome to have that history with people. From there, I actually bought a house in Jersey. And unfortunately, that was with the first husband, and we got divorced. So that's how I ended up in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I came here to go to I thought I was going to be like Jaleesa on a different world, that I was going to go to college here, you know, be divorced, go to college, you know, get my bachelor's, master's, and maybe a doctorate and, you know, start life after that. Well, I met a wonderful gentleman the first year I was here. We got married and we've been married 34 years. It'll actually be 35 in November.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah.
You
So
have to tell us the secret.
It's hard work. No matter how you look at it, it is very hard work. It takes two, it takes compromise, it takes faith, prayer, everything you can think about, you need to stay married and have it stable and functional. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. So when I married him, he had 5 kids, right? But they didn't live with him. Um, I had some infertility issues. So although we tried, we went through 3 rounds of in vitro. I actually lost
Mm,
5 babies, a set of triplets.
mm.
We got to hold the little girl. Well, he got to hold the little girl in his arms and her heart beat for a couple of seconds and then she was gone. So they were just premature. It was just too much for my body to handle at that time. So although that portion of my life was a season of what I thought was breaking, you know what I mean? I didn't want to, I was mad at God. I didn't want to be married. I just I just wanted to curl up and die because I figured that was the least thing that we could do was to have a baby. You know what I mean? But what I realized is one day God said to me, my oh my Lord, I forgot the scripture, and I know the scripture off. My grace is sufficient. So it took me years to understand what that meant, by my grace is sufficient. And now I truly understand. God provides no matter what. And what I realized that purpose was born through that loss. Okay. So at that point, I have always been a volunteer person, but I was able to be a part of the Stevens ministry. And this is real funny. So I was at the Stevens ministry. We were doing our training at the church I was at the time, Peace Baptist Church here in I guess that's Decatur. We were training and I couldn't figure out why I was falling asleep during the class. I was eating up everybody nuts and candy around me, and come to find out that I was pregnant. So I was praying for a friend that was in the class that wanted to have a baby, to be pregnant, and I was pregnant. And I didn't know it. And Mother's Day, I would always spend with my mother and my aunt and my cousin in North Carolina. And I was on my way back home, and I mean, I'm crying big crocodile tears, like heart just hurting with those cries, driving down the road. And I'm thinking, I must be really missing them this year. We were pregnant. We just didn't know it. So I was happy to say that at the age of 40, I had the miracle baby. And she is a 21 now, a college student in the Air Force Reserve, reservist, and doing well. Parenting hasn't been easy. As you know, I mean, everybody goes through stuff. We're growing, they're growing, everybody's growing and trying to just make life make life meaningful.
Okay, so you was talking a little bit, Angela, about um, your upbringing, and you mentioned about the first time you encountered racism. Can you expand just a little bit more on that? Like, what are some of the things you went through as a child?
So, as I said, I lived in Harlem for a while, so we were definitely educated on the Black National Anthem, our Black leaders and heroes. And then my parents were very instrumental. Like, you couldn't go on Christmas break or Thanksgiving break and not have to do a book report for my dad about somebody in Black history. So even though school didn't make us necessarily do all that, we were taught at home as well that we had to learn about our history, and that it was ingrained in us that like basically each one teach one, and that each generation needs to do better than the next. So seeing my mom in corporate America, she was the first African American executive assistant to a vice president at a bank in Wall Street, right?
Wow.
So my first job at 18, when I graduated high school, I went to work for the Federal Reserve Bank of New York as a secretary. And then a few years later, I went on to be an executive assistant at Goldman Sachs, which was a huge investment bank during that time. Well, it still is today, in Wall Street. That's with, we were getting 35% of our salary as bonuses at the end of the year. And I worked for the traders. So at that time, I mean, like they would take a trip. I might get a silk scarf, crystal stuff. For Secretary's Day, I'd get like $1,000 to Bloomingdale's or one of those kind of things. So I was kind of spoiled by that as a young adult. But prior to that, when I moved to Staten Island, and I said it was a different world from Harlem, um, we like I said, we would be so the school that I went to, Curtis High School, was probably maybe about 5% integrated, and that was most on the whole island. So there were, I guess, three high schools. There was Port Richmond, Newdorp, and Curtis High. So yeah, I think there was three high schools altogether. And my high school, Curtis, was the most integrated at like 5%. So I mean, I was familiar with having friends of other nationalities, and I loved it, and we all got along fine. But when we would have to travel to the inner parts of the island where they still, didn't accept us, it was an issue. Or even parts of Brooklyn, like if you had to cross the bridge from Staten Island to Brooklyn there, you better be ready to run and don't be there after dark and stuff. I mean, most of it was like name calling. Um, or, like I said, after a track meet, they might try and push the bus or chase you to the train station or something, but no real violence, shall I say. But that was the first time that I really had encountered that type of racism, because even when I went to work, New York is a big melting pot. So
Yes.
you're always involved with other cultures and other people. And I've always worked for people of diversified races. So I've never had a problem in the workforce in New York. It was just, those high school years in Staten Island. And like I said, my friends, it wasn't an issue with, their parents were very accepting. So it was only when we had to travel for certain things in certain places. But so yeah, so back to where I started my corporate career, it was actually at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. I learned that my organizational skills were top notch even at that age because I was a little OCD back then. Still is, but I can control it a little more. Um, and so I would get the difficult people that they needed to be organized, right? Then when I went to Goldman Sachs, I had five investment bankers. So they actually sat on the trading floor. I sat on a different floor, but there was always stuff going on. I mean, I was sending them around the world to travel. They'd be doing these deals and just, it was always high paced, fast action. And then I had to train the people coming out of school with their MBAs, on how to do general office stuff that because they had no clue. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I need to go get me a degree too, because I'm kind of just as smart as these people, if not smarter than most of them. But I needed to
So
get a
how old
degree.
were you at this point?
So at this point, so the Federal Reserve, I started at 18. I went to Goldman Sachs around 22. And then let me see, how old was I got and I got divorced at 26. But by 26, I had bought a house, a vacation home in Barbados. Um, just was living the life of Riley, right? Traveling all around. I had been to Europe, the Caribbean, all that kind of stuff. So did all that stuff, but part of it was being spoiled because people would bless us with stuff. You know what I mean? So we got blessed with a 15-day grand tour of Europe, things of that nature, right?
Wow.
Way back
Nice.
then.
Mm-hmm.
So that marriage failed, or I decided to leave because I wanted more. I wanted more than the material stuff. I really had a yearning for not just family, but family and connection to community. And although I had friends, it still wasn't deep enough for me, right? So when that dissolved and I moved to Atlanta, it was starting all over again. So then I met my nice husband that I have now, gentle spirit, just very Southern, I'll say, in personality, right? So totally different than me. I was hyper. I mean, I could tell you, we go to the mall. I'm like 15 steps ahead. He's back here just chilling. I'm running my mouth 50 miles a minute, but I've slowed down. And just he just showed me a different lifestyle, like not as intense and all. He
Mm-hmm.
introduced me to church. So it was just a whole different mindset shift when I moved here.
Mm.
So I was able to get involved, volunteer more,
Mm-hmm.
learn about God more, um, and just be grow into me, shall I say. He
Right.
allowed me that. Um, so corporate wise here, I actually the first job was at a law firm that I got. It was as a receptionist. They had too many of us, so they laid some off, which was fine. Then I went to the post office. So this is the funny part. I took the post office test with my husband, my sister, as a joke. I was
Mm.
like, I don't want to work for the post office. I said, but I wanted us all to be to get hang out that day together. So we all took the test same day, same time. I was the only one that got called. At that time, my husband got called a couple years later, but at that time, I was the only one that got called. So when I tell you that God knows what's going to happen, because when I took the job part-time, I was working at Emory as a secretary in the geriatrics area where they do research and stuff for the older people. And I took the post office job and quit Emory, and God knew that my husband was going to have some health challenges at that point. So
Mm.
the post office job allowed me to go from part-time to full-time, to have full benefits and everything so that our house could still sustain and grow. So I tell you, it was like, wow, you know. While I was there, I educated people that were about to retire.
Mm.
You know, most of the men don't pay attention to stuff. I was like, what's your wife's phone number? Let me call her and tell her, you know, she needs to call HR and do these things to help you out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just gained a lot of knowledge that I was able to share. I ended up being the postmaster secretary there. Then I just realized, okay, the post office life is not for me. They wanted me to go into supervisory. That's not what I wanted. So I actually quit. Now, most people were shocked that I quit after 5 years at the post office because they're like, nobody quits the post office. But again, I knew there was a burning desire that I wasn't using all that God gave me to use, right? That I had to give the world. So I ended up taking a 4 week four certification class. So in a month and a half, I literally got four certifications. I got A plus, C plus, Network plus, and a Microsoft Server certification back then. Um, and I got that, and that's when I went back into corporate, into an engineering firm. So it was MagTech. So they're a company that moved that lighthouse from the Outer Banks. There's a big lighthouse. It's a whole history behind it, but they were the company that moved that. They were the company that cleaned up all the land in what was that, Atlantic Station. So I was with them for a couple of years. And I was actually so I went from being a help desk analyst to being the help desk supervisor to being the manager and on my way to being a director in IT there, right? That was the first place I thought that I could actually be the CIO for IT. However, we had a pivot because in the midst of all that, I was doing the in vitro because I wanted which I had already finished the in vitro. 5 years after I stopped all the in vitro, I had the miracle baby. So I was 40 years old, work like 50, 60 hours a week. I couldn't just hop on the plane and be in California because that office or my technicians or something was going on. And so I had to make a decision. You know, I was in the midst of doing my bachelor's degree. So I was determined that I was going to finish that, but I pivoted the track. So instead of doing IT, I ended up getting a bachelor's in instructional psychology, technology, and training from UGA, the University of Georgia. And what that allowed me to do was to develop training curriculums to still empower people with knowledge. So my whole life has been about empowering people with knowledge, making sure that whatever they do it in excellence, model that excellence, as well as train them up in it, right? So my daughter has seen me from a young age, like set up classrooms, train, break it down. I mean, I've had her help. She's been able to travel all over with me during summer break and spring breaks and all. So she's well-rounded, as they say. Spoiled if you really want to tell the truth, but
Yes.
so yeah, so from MagTech, I went to McKesson. So McKesson is a big IT pharmaceutical company. Most people have see their medical supplies in your doctor's office and stuff like that. So I went to them and we were on a special project for revenue cycle. So what that is if you go to let's say the emergency room, when they key in all your insurance, it goes straight through to billing. So by the time you leave, you already know what the bill is going to be.
Yes.
um, there I continue to, grow my skills, to train and to be able to become a subject matter experts on certain systems and things. And then from there, they had me training so much and I was actually traveling. So the job originally was 15% travel and it increased to like 85%. Now, mind you, my
Wow.
kid is only like 3 or 4. I mean, she could travel with me during holidays, but she couldn't travel with me every week. And I
Right.
saw that my kid was starting to have a little anxiety and little illnesses every time I left and would come back. And I realized it was from anxiety of me leaving her. So I made a decision. Hey, if y'all can't move me inside, I gotta go because my child and my family is more important than this job. You know, we work to take care of them. We don't work for you know what I mean? We don't
Right.
live for work.
Right.
We work for our families. So I quit. They were shocked that I quit, but I quit. And I stayed home probably mm, maybe a year, finishing up my undergrad degree. No, yeah, finishing up my undergrad and starting grad school. And then I got a call one day for a contract job at AT&T, and the interview was about 20 minutes. And I said, I was like, God, you know, I really don't want to go back to work right now. I said, I really, really, really just want to finish my last year of grad school and really grasp and, you know, enjoy my child because we had did Camp Wilkes that summer. We were having a blast. Well, then they called me back and they told me what the hourly rate was, which was a very good rate. And after a 20-minute interview, I said, okay. I said, well, God, I'm going to trust you and I'm going to take this job.
Mm.
Well, when I took it in my mind, I was like, okay, this is a 3 to 6 month contract. Oh, I'll get a real job when it's done. Well, that real job turned into 13 and a half, well, actually 14 and a half years because I did a year as a contractor and then 13 and a half as an employee. And then they just had the big layoff. So
Hmm.
I looked at everything, reevaluated, and decided I can retire from corporate America right now.
Nice.
So I'm retired, and the rewiring is now the switching of the mindset back to those things of ministry, back to being able to finish my book, th- being able to do these podcasts, you know what I mean? Just being able to be back out in the community doing what God destined me to do anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, so that has been my journey pretty much. Yes, yes indeed. Oh,
So
and then I
how's the shift from working your whole life, so to speak? Well, you know,
mhm.
from a child, well, a teenager to now, what do you miss about the corporate world?
At present, nothing because it's brand new. Like literally today is the first day of retirement.
Oh, okay.
So I love it. I got a chance to get a nap in. I got a chance to walk my dogs earlier this morning and have breakfast with my dad, who's 84.
Oh,
I'll get to spend a little bit more time with my, you know, be able to take the grandkids out because, so I have a blended family, as you know. So I have 5 grown adult children and then I have 14 grands. And
wow.
yes, yes, yes. And it's a pleasure to be with them all, but they're exhausting.
Yeah. Yes.
So, it's a funny story. When COVID hit, I was like, "Oh, thank God. I don't have to do another chorus. I don't have to do another dance recital. I don't have to do another violin recital.
Yes.
Nobody's graduating because we're not getting together in person." Because I would literally go to work downtown Atlanta, drive home, get my daughter. We might have to go out to Tucker or the South Side, wherever the kids, Covington, wherever the kids had stuff going on, we were
Yes.
going to be present, you
Yes.
know. And if we knew about it, because sometimes they would just not tell us because they knew I would be traveling or different things. But if anything that I knew about that the kids were doing, sports
Yes.
on the weekend, soccer, we were there. And then my daughter was in a program for 9 years. It's called Diamond in the Rough Youth Development Program. So that was in Snellville. So I drove from Conyers to Snellville 320 or 50 days a year. Something like that. It was over 300 days a year, every
Wow.
Saturday. We went every Saturday faithfully. I was a co-founder of their parent association, so that even put me there even longer, you know, in terms of my time during the week.
Yes.
I still volunteered even when she graduated. Um, and actually, I still donate to them financially. So when I tell you I invest where I put my heart, my mouth, my money goes as well.
That's right.
So I invest in Christian Women's Network where they train women to be ministers. The Atlanta Food Bank because we've got people that have food insecurities, and
Yeah.
that's just the thing. My mom always brought a lot of food. I've never in my life experienced any kind of food insecurity, but I know that people do, so that's a concern for me. That I do. AT&T does all kind of events from packing backpacks to making quilts, going to clean and decorate these schools. Like I think it's Brown Middle School that's on by the West End. So I've done a whole lot of volunteering. Oh, at church. I mean, I've even
Yes.
taken funds out of my own pocket for bonus and went and had my church organized. My dad and I cooked, and we went and fed people at one of those extended stay hotels in Conyers here a couple years
Yes.
ago. I had my friends come pray with the people, and it's been a good thing. I've organized well, actually I was the liaison of outreach for one of the old churches that I went to. It actually went out of business during COVID, but a lot of outreach. I'm an outreach person, that's my thing. So anything I can donate, I typically do.
Yes. Yes. So tell us the name of your organization. That's you.
So I started the Georgia Association of American Mothers. So in 2024, I tell y'all how God has just been working. I had no clue. I got an email that said you've been nominated for Mother of the Year for Georgia. I'm like, Mother of the Year for Georgia? Okay, so you had to complete your portfolio. I completed the portfolio, sent it in, totally forgot about it. That January, I get a call and I'm like, who is this calling me? And they were like, we just want to congratulate you on being the 2024 Mother of the Year for Georgia. I'm like, what? Is this real? This is not a game, right? And so yeah, so that was an awesome honor. We actually went to Idaho. Like, yeah. Yeah, we went to no, wait a minute, hold on. What Nebraska? Which one is Nebraska? We went to Nebraska. I think it's I can't remember, but I know it's 2024, but I get those Midwestern states mixed up. But yeah, but me and my girlfriend went there and I found out she was the one that nominated me. And
Nice.
she's actually the co-founder, Teresa Wright Johnson, of our American Mothers Association for Georgia. So with that, we actually try and honor mothers here. So last year we did donations to helping mamas. So we donated diapers and wipes to that organization because they distribute them throughout Georgia to moms with babies. And then this May for Mother's Day, we actually visited a domestic violence shelter. Well, first of all, we packed all these purses with toiletries. And I
Yes.
still have some if
Mhm.
you know of organization that
Yes.
is in need.
Yes. We do that also, and we give it to the women's shelter here.
Yes, yeah. So we did that, and we were able to take it to the domestic violence shelter. Um, and now we're preparing for our next in-person event. We'll have lunch in Decatur and all, and figure out our path for the rest of the year, through mid next year, because they run from June to June. Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a wonderful organization. We're going to start doing mini or what micro learnings I call them, where we talk about self-care for moms, provide different resources for moms, and we have a variety of women from all over that have expertise in everything from mental health to children with disabilities to teens in transition, like from middle school to high school or high school to college. We have coaches, we have therapists. So we have a wide variety of well educated women with their own nonprofits and all that participate in American Mothers of Georgia.
That is beautiful. So how can someone get nominated?
I actually have it on the website. So if you go to American Mothers Inc.org, hold on, let me make sure I give you the right thing. Where's my card? Um, the nominations are open now. So you people can self-nominate. and and then they'll get notified. So the website is www.americanmothers.org. And if you're interested in learning about the Georgia American Mothers, you can reach out to me at georgiaamericanmothers@gmail.com. Or if you want to call, you can call 470-682-4814. And we're definitely looking for moms who are on the move. We're looking to create chapters all over. So, Dr. Ans, you can definitely start a chapter in your county.
Okay,
We'd be
nice.
excited about that. And so next year, the convention will be in Utah, Salt
Utah.
Lake City, Utah.
Yes.
This was it this year? This 2020, what are we in 2026? So 2026 we were in Virginia. 2025 we were in Puerto Rico. So they hosted all over whoever wants to be a host city. So it's an awesome organization. If you get a chance, definitely look at the website. We have been honoring mothers since 1935. It actually started as an employee resource group with Eleanor Roosevelt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, during the wartime to honor mothers. Georgia had their first American mother in 19. I don't want to give you the wrong date, but it was in the early 1900s, like that we had ours.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, it's a wonderful organization. It's like
So,
one of those
yeah.
little known secrets.
Oh, there are a lot of secret organizations. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, what are you looking forward to being retired?
So I'm looking forward to one publishing a poetry book,
Okay.
and then also capitalizing on the original chapter that we have out in Voices of the Crown, where I
Yes.
talk about my rise from infertility to Mother of the Year. So, going to continue the book that I began a while ago. It's called Hidden Shame: Infertility in the Black Community. So, it speaks to women about how we don't get the support that we need when we're going through things, or how we just don't let anybody know, because if we did, then we probably could get the support that we need through this trying time, because it's a very trying time to go through that. It's traumatic. I actually ended up going through a 12-step program after I had lost the triplets, because I was just like, what is life? You know what I mean? Like, um why is it worth living? You know what I
Right.
mean? Not that I was going to kill myself, but just what's the purpose if I can't have a child, you know?
So, do you feel like a lot of women thinks that something is wrong with them, or are they embarrassed to talk about it, or what? Why do you feel that people just don't talk about it?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. One is the embarrassment, because it's just automatically assumed that if you're a woman, you can have a baby, right? And then if you look at from the stereotypical part of the cultures, as Black women, we're supposed to be strong. We carry babies on our back, bells and puckets on our head. So, if you're thinking about the slavery mentality, they think that, oh, we can just carry a baby, drop it in the field, put it on our back, and keep moving. So when you run into these situations, nobody takes into account the environment, the food, the stress. Our parents didn't have all that going on. Not to say that they didn't have any kind of hardships, but it's not as fast paced and crazy as it is today. Like, think about it. We don't even have really good drinking water. you know, People are flushing pills and things down the toilet. All those things get into the water supply.
Mm.
So, I mean, just our foods, they're sprayed with everything. Where's the regular organic gardens that our parents used to have, or grandparents or great grandparents, where they had good food, there was good air, good water, different
Back
things
then,
that we
people
got.
also grew a lot of their own food.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Correct. 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 Well, now we're so busy. Who has time to grow food? I mean, we might want to try. So yes, I think it has two things. The embarrassment and then the culture piece, that we just don't. And like even if you think about mental health is just coming to the forefront
Huge,
now in our
huge.
in our
Yes,
communities, but it's been there all along.
right.
But there's finally an emphasis shining light on that. And that's what I want to do, shine light on the infertility situation. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what's next for you in regards to that? Do you have?
So I'm working on a book. I've been working on this book for years, but
Mhm.
but I'll finally have the time to sit down and finish the book on that. Publish a book with my mom's poetry. So my mom passed in January, and as a means of honoring her, I really would like to publish her poetry. Um, what else do I have? Of course, speaking engagements
Yeah,
where I can actually share the stories, share the testimonies, um, you know, give people micro learnings, get back out in the community. I've also been invited, so we'll see if I'm selected to be a part of the Rockdale Leadership Academy. And what that is, it's like a 7-month program where you actually sharpen your leadership skills with cohorts from all the business sectors around.
nice.
You get to meet all the political people and your school superintendents, your fire, police, all those people in your community. So you get some networking in, but more importantly, you learn how to make an impact in your county. So I'm looking forward to that because I'm all about impacting people in their lives positively and definitely lifting up everything that we have that's worthwhile for the next generation. We want our children and our children's children to value these things and understand that um, in order for our society to grow in a positive and effective way, they need a role model.
Mm,
Somebody has to model this stuff outside of social media because we
yes.
know social media is just contaminating them all the way.
Mm,
So I want to be a positive force in the community here.
awesome. Awesome. Wow. Well, you have your work cut out for you. So even
I
though you
do.
are retired, you are not sitting still.
No, no, no. And I'm definitely going to do some self-care. I deserve it. I wasn't able to do as much as I would have liked in the past, but I'm already getting my little schedules together for what time I'm going to exercise, walk, do line dance, and things of that nature in between the other stuff. So, yeah, so I'm excited about
Yes.
that. I have a
Uh,
couple of lunches and brunches and things lined up with friends and family to catch up. Hmm.
yes, reconnect.
Yes, I'm so excited about it. I'm truly, truly excited. And it's just by the grace of God that everything happened the way that it happened. So I know that He was ready for me to take that next step.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Line dancing is a great way. I do it myself. It's a
Hmm.
great way to stay active,
Yes.
to keep your brain sharp, and because you have
Yes.
to remember the steps, and it's fun. It's
It's
fun. And
fun. It is
yes.
fun. Yeah. 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 So actually, I think my daughter and I are going tonight. I think
Oh,
they're doing
sweet.
it in the park for free. So it's at the time that I would normally walk the dog. So we're going to try it out. Mhm.
Yes, and that's what I tell a lot of my friends, you know, the ones who say, "I they can't do that, or it's too complicated, or it's too many steps, or whatever they have to say." I'm like, "Listen, go one time.
Yes.
If you don't like it, you never have to do it again."
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So, I'm all for trying new things. I'm actually pretty adventurous. So, yeah. So
So
it's
what's speaking of trying new things, so what's some of the things that you would like to do now that you would have the time to do it?
so I'm actually going to try to do one of these AI courses, like so I can do my own
Mhm.
flyers
Yes,
and maybe mini video clips and things. So I've never had the time to actually sit and try it and work with it. Um, Plus be able to consecrate myself one day a week, really just stay in the word that day and meditate, pray, and just let God lead me. Hmm.
that is important, so important.
It is. It really is. He
So,
has to speak to us and we have to listen. That's and
yes.
be obedient because sometimes we hear, but we don't stay obedient to what we heard. We start
Mm.
all these 50 million questions.
So now that you're retired, you know your family, your husband, your grandbabies, they're gonna have their schedules for you. So
No. Mm-mm,
how are they
mm-mm,
taking
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
how are they, what's their take on you retiring?
So my daughter that's home, she'll go back to college later on this month. So she'll be out of the way. She'll be at school. Although we inherited her little dog. So now I got two dogs in retirement when I didn't want any. Um, the grandkids, they'll all be back in school. So I'll probably do something with them for the summer. Do like we'll do a day out. The older ones will probably go to Six Flags or something, even though I don't ride anymore. And the little ones, I'll probably take them to a water park or something that we can do, or arcade jump house. But yeah, but they know that I'm not the sit at home grandma,
Okay.
that I'm just gonna sit and babysit all the time. So we kind of established that close to 3 years ago. So they really don't expect a whole lot out of me and my husband because my husband works nights, so he's pretty much his you might as well say one day off. He's sleeping. You know what I mean? Um, and they know that I worked full time. I still had to travel for work. I still had the American mother stuff. So we would just see each other kind of at the big holidays, or if we took a random, like somebody wanted to throw something. Like my one of my middle daughter gave a picnic or get barbecue at her house in the begin well, like the second week of May, because she wanted everybody to get together before the kids kind of dispersed for the summer. So that was nice. So usually April, May we'll have a big get together. We may do August, and then somewhere around Thanksgiving or Christmas we'll do another get together if we're in town, because a lot of times we're out of town for Thanksgiving.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah.
Well, I know it's fun having 14 grandbabies all
Yeah.
together. Oh my goodness.
Yes, 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 yes. They are hilarious. Yes. Yes. So it takes a lot of energy. And I used to love it and could just, have them and just do all kind of arts and my whole house was full of arts and crafts and all this other stuff, but I've been slowly getting rid of it. Like I had like five hula hoops, basketballs, soccer balls. What else? I have a toy. So the kids come, they're like, Grandma, can we go get the toys? Go get the toys. I had a whole basket of toys. We have things to make scrapbooks, photos. I would buy them the mini cameras that you could take your own pictures with, and then we'd make
Yes.
scrapbooks and stuff. We've done the cupcake bake off, where we mix up the batter and they could decorate their cupcakes so they be all sugared up. Uh, we do movie with the popcorn and stuff. So I've done stuff with them. It's just
Yes.
now it's I feel like it's my time. You know what I
Right.
mean? Hmm.
Right. And a lot of people feel guilty about taking time for
Mhm.
themselves.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that you are putting consciously putting that on your schedule just to, take time for you.
Mhm. Oh yes, I feel like I deserve it. You know what I mean? I think I finally reached that how can I say that point in life where I'm important to me versus me always being important, me making everybody else important. Does that
Right.
make sense? Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So I'm finally to that point now,
Okay.
and it's been a long road. At
Yes.
62, I think I'm finally got it.
I think you have just been working so long
Yes.
and, in the work mindset that now it's going to take a shift, a huge shift.
A huge shift. Yes, 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 yes. But I'm ready for it. I've been ready for it for probably since, I think probably since the beginning of the year. I have been kind of planning for it and waiting for the opportunity. And then, hey, God provided the opportunity. So
Yes.
there she goes.
Well, if you get the itch and you do want to do something, there's plenty of things you could do without going and punching a clock. You could do things, like you said, AI,
Hmm.
you could do
Hmm.
things from home a couple of days a week.
Oh yeah. So the only thing I thought about doing from home was if I can get a customer service job with Delta. This way I could flash that pass, get on and off the plane. I can be in Thailand this week, Vietnam the next, Bali, Dubai, South Africa. I'm willing to travel.
The perks, the
The
perks.
perks. Yes,
Yes,
the
that's what
perks.
I tell my friends now. I was like, I have passport. I will travel.
Yes,
So
exactly.
just let me know
Exactly.
when you're ready. We'll be
Right.
gone.
Yes, yes. Oh, I'm all for it. Yes. So if I do anything, part-time, that would be it, just to get those perks.
Yes.
And
And
my
those are
husband
nice
agreed.
perks. Yes.
Yeah, I know. My husband said, "Well, I think I could still throw luggage so
He
that we
wants
could
to
both
be on
have a
the
pass."
travel. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. So it's been a phenomenal life this far. I
Yes.
mean, with the challenges, the ups, down, good, bad, life, and I'm just grateful to be here, to still be healthy, to be able to see that rewirement take place, and to know that I'm walking in what God purposed me for. So I think the humbleness and the gratitude that I have will carry me through this rewirement chapter.
Yes.
Mhm,
Absolutely. Well,
mhm.
congratulations on the retirement.
Thank you.
And it's a big, humongous world out there. It is full of adventure, it's full of
Mhm.
culture, it's full of good food.
Yes.
So I love culture, I love people, I love learning about new and different, rituals or things that people do
Yes, me
and
too.
why they do
Mhm.
it.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, I think cultural anthropology was one of my favorite classes in college. Just even knowing like why somebody lives here, why their features are different, people that live in this climate, features are different. It's really, really interesting. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm definitely I will always be a lifelong learner.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
That
yes.
is beautiful. That is so good.
Yes, and I've tried other things. I've had a Spanish business, so it was called Mommy Speaks Spanish. I used to teach the little kid. So when my daughter got about 3, I was like, okay, we're gonna have a Spanish program because I was like, I'm not driving you from here all the way across town to pay somebody $2,000 because I actually have a degree in foreign language in Spanish, but you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
So, but I could teach them the basics of the colors. We could sing songs, and I would teach them with the different interactivities, mats, chairs. We'd play ring around the chairs. I can't think of what it's called, but so that they would have to call out the colors, do different things because when they're that little, they have to stay moving and occupied.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
had two contractors that worked with me that were native Spanish speakers, so they would do the immersion piece of the program for them. My daughter learned Japanese in school, Mandarin. I mean, she not Japanese. She learned Mandarin Chinese in school. She
That's a
learned,
tough language.
but she was young. They could absorb it, but she didn't keep it up. And then she learned French. So she's
Uh-huh.
had French in high school and college. Again, we had the French tutor, but she didn't keep it up. So I'm always so there's benefits to learning a foreign language that helps kids learn, helps adults learn. When you think about the brain and it absorbing stuff and helping with different areas, just like kids that are in tune to music learn math better. Um, we all those things are a part of parenting, you know what I mean? And then so outside of the Spanish business, I've had a Amazon store which I just dissolved last year or the year before. Still trying to get rid of some of the stuff from there, but so I'm so I'm open to entrepreneurial stuff. It just has to be the right thing for this moment in time for me.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Anything you would like our global audience to know about?
Yes. So for my global people, just remember to stay encouraged. A dream deferred is not a dream dead. It's just temporarily deferred.
Yes,
Always stay connected to God, because He will definitely lead you, and wherever He leads you, He'll provide for you. And just make sure that whatever you have, each one teach one. Remember that we're all a community. We're all about love, and love conquers all.
excellent. Well said.
Yes. So yeah, so this has been awesome, Queen Angie. I've
Absolutely.
enjoyed my time with
Absolutely.
you.
Yes. Man, life certainly have a way of coming full circle. Uh,
Yes, yes, yes. We're all like phoenix rises rising from the ashes, you know. We're beauty coming from the ashes of our lives. And when I say ashes, I mean the stories, the growing up, our experiences.
yes,
So although the experiences might have been great at times, harsh at other times, we still rose to be beautiful citizens of the world.
yes.
Yeah.
You are precious and you stay encouraged
Oh
even
yes.
when, life changes.
Oh
You
yes.
just keep going. And
Yep.
there's so much beauty out there in
Oh
this
yes.
world.
It is. It
So,
really is.
yes.
Yes.
So there's something called the Tulip Festival. And,
And
yeah,
the
in
one in
Europe.
Holland? Yeah, in Holland, in Amsterdam, Holland. Yeah. I've been there.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I've been to Amsterdam. I've seen the tulips and the windmills. Um, Back when I was younger, I went in the 80s. hmm
Okay.
So I'm sure some things have changed a bit. And I have friends that have actually moved overseas. I had considered it at one point. I really
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go work overseas in Spain.
Yes.
I looked at Spain, I looked at Dubai, and I looked at what was the other country? I can't remember the other country. When I was finishing undergrad, because my daughter
Uh-huh.
was young enough to really absorb the culture and the language, but then I didn't want to leave the other kids here. And, my husband, by him being a truck driver, I didn't want him having to drive in all these foreign places and things.
Okay.
So,
So you had to outweigh the
yes,
pros and
yes.
cons.
Yes. So yeah, money wise, it would have been fantastic. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when you measure it with all the whole family trajectory, it just wouldn't have been a good experience. You
Right.
know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what life is about, making choices and making the right choices for the whole.
Yes, for the whole.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to look at everything holistically. It's not just tunnel vision on what you want or what somebody else's wants. It has to be a holistic picture of everything.
Okay. So tell us now the secret to staying married for so long.
Compromise. You have to first of all, you have to have friendship and then you have to have love. And we know you have to have things have to be in harmony. I won't say balance. People say, "Oh, your partner's got to be 50-50." It's never going to be 50-50.
Never.
So you look for that harmony. What are the things that make us work? So for instance, my husband works the night shift. So he leaves for work at 2 p.m. He comes back at 5 in the morning. Well, what that allows me to do is to do these types of podcasts or to do my Zoom calls for my American mothers, all those things that I would normally do in the evening that would take time away from him. I don't have to worry about now. I mean, when I was working, even when I was working full time, because I could do those things in the evening. So I would talk to him on my way home from work, and then I'd talk to him in the evening before I went to bed. But those few hours in between, I could handle business for the community or for our house or whatever I needed to do. And it wasn't a reflection of, it didn't impede on our quality time.
Okay.
So even things that I do on Saturday mornings, like let's say the church, we normally do what's called ACTS training, it's active core training. I do the PowerPoints for that. Um, it's Sunday mornings from like let's say 9:30 to 12:30. Well, he doesn't get up till about 1:30. So I'm back home. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's so you have to find that harmony of how you work together is
Right.
really what it is. How do you solve problems together? Who has the skill to do what? So like my husband is not a bill payer. You know what I mean?
Mm.
The
Okay.
bills would just he'd be looking at them and we'd have to figure out what happened. But for me, that's that's my thing. The administrative piece is me. So I handle pretty much all the paperwork for stuff, but we talk about, well, what's happening? What's our plan for next year? Okay, is this the year we're buying furniture? Is this the year we're doing the big trip? What are we doing next year? Okay, is this the
Right.
year she's going off to college? So we actually sit down and plan what we're gonna do for the following year, um, by the end of the year.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically it's love. When they say love, peace, and harmony, it truly is love, peace, and harmony and compromise makes it work.
Compromise. That's a big part.
Yeah, Yeah. But you don't always have to compromise too much. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be more one way or the other. It should kind of always be s- whatever the harmony is or the balance is that you guys feel comfortable with. Nobody should feel like they're getting less out of it or they're compromising like 80% and the other one's only compromising 20% because then there's going to be a lot of dissension within the marriage. So, mhm.
Wow. Well, maybe you need to write a book on that because
Yeah,
after being married
I
for over
definitely
30 years,
Yeah, I definitely could, especially even on the blended family, the
yes,
ups and downs of a blended family, the challenges of a blended family.
yes.
I just have to say that the all of my husband's the children's moms have been no problems. You know what I mean? They haven't been those crazy mamas. So
Well, I've
we've
heard
all
some stories about those, but yes,
Yeah, so no, and I'm not your typical stepmom that doesn't want to be bothered with the kids, and those are yours and not mine, and we don't do any of that. It's kind of all for one and one for all.
nice.
Hmm. Yep. And that's how I grew up actually in a blended family. So my mom had 4 kids when she married my stepdad that's here with me. I was 9, and I think my youngest brother was 3. And so now think about that. I'm 62. And even though they've divorced after like 35 years, he raised us. He raised all 4 of us as his own.
Wow, wow.
Hmm.
Okay.
And he only had one child, my
Mm-hmm.
sister. So yeah, so we don't have those negative stepmom stories
Yes,
and all that. She was mean to me or the negative stepdad. I didn't come into the marriage with any of that biased in my head already
yes.
because that
Mm-hmm.
was not my experience.
Mm, mm.
So I think that helped a lot as well. I had more of the little house on the prairie attitude that we could work together, pull each other up from the bootstraps and
Yes,
things of that nature.
yes, yes. I wish more people had that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too, but we're in a different day and time. People value the stuff more than they value people.
Oh, say it again for the people in the back.
Yes, the people value stuff more than they value people. It's like I'd rather live like even for our lifestyle, what we could have, let's say for instance, we could afford a $400,000 house. We would still buy $100 and something thousand house because what for? What do I need 5, 6 bedrooms for? And who's coming to visit? I mean, you might have people come every now and then, because again, we all have busy lives. So it's not
Right.
like, or you might plan for your parent to live with you as they age, but we just need basic functionality, some warmth, and because to me, the people and the warmth and the welcoming makes the home,
Yes,
not the price or the size of the home. So, yeah.
yes, yes. That is true.
Hmm.
Well,
And
my sister.
I'm not knocking people that have that. If that's what you desire, that's wonderful. I'm happy for you. But
Yes.
that's not what makes me happy. I'd rather be able to give money away
Mm,
in a sense than to, you know, be flashy.
yes.
So, yes.
Well, I thank you so much for taking the time to being, just open to being here and sharing and sharing your story and
Oh,
giving
yes.
others hope. You had a baby at 40. Oh my
Yes,
goodness,
yes, 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 yeah. And managed to keep up with her and have more energy than her. With her and the grandchildren. So her and a couple of the grandchildren all grew up together, pretty much. So yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well,
So
once you get these books out, you would have to come back and tell us all about it and tell us
oh
how it's going
yes,
and tell
yes,
us all the new adventures that you're getting into now that you're retired.
yes, yes, yes. I'd be happy to share all that I have.
Yes. Good luck on the books, and I will see you in person soon. And
Yes,
have a beautiful day. Enjoy line dancing and keep up the great work. I know you do a lot.
yes, of
Yes,
course. Well,
yes,
just as you, I think you do more
yes.
than I do.
Well, I have a little more time than you, but
Yeah.
yes. Um, do you have an email? How can people reach you if they have questions or anything they would like to?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So the email is the Georgia American Mothers at gmail.com.
Okay.
Is the best way to reach me.
All right. Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Have a
It's
great
my
day.
pleasure.
Yes. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Dr. Angie Speaks. If this conversation moved you, challenged you, or made you think, share it with someone who